And hello, my name is Mr. Dramby, and this is the DBQ essay I'll be using with my 9th honors students and my AP World students. This is my overview of the most recent version for all AP histories of the DBQ. You can see that the DBQ has different points, and I'll be going over all of them today, basically using the rubric to lead my discussion. So this is my first time using this, and hopefully I can come along all right. So as a reminder to students, the DBQ is all about the docs. You're going to have probably anywhere 6 to 7 documents, and you have to use those documents to answer an essay question. So it's almost like you're doing a research essay, but the research has been done for you, but you have to make sense of that research. I will say that I liken this to a 5-paragraph essay that I know English teachers have been using for years. I used them back when I was in middle school and high school. You don't have to use the 5-paragraph structure, but I look at it as you will have an intro, you'll have body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and then a conclusion. Each one of these body paragraphs links up to something cited in the thesis, and all 3 of the body paragraphs answer the essay question using the 6 to 7 documents. You might have 2 documents in each, but let's not stress, because though you have to have an intro, I do want to let you know that you can have two body paragraphs. It's legal, and then have 3 documents in BP1 and 4 documents in BP2. And crazily, and this is something that just started in the AP histories, is that theoretically you can have 7 paragraphs each with 1 doc. So there it is. Sorry for my sloppiness. This is all very new to me. Let's go to the next slide. So first thing right here, you can get 1 point out of, I guess it's 7, for your thesis. Now, your thesis needs to come in the intro, but I tell my students always to try to rephrase it in the conclusion. Don't rewrite it, rephrase it. The AP readers out in like Salt Lake City for AP World, they will look for your thesis either in your first paragraph or your last paragraph. So if your thesis in your intro is poopy, maybe your rephrasing of the similar thesis, but it's better worded in your conclusion, might be yay, meaning you got the 1 point. So a thesis. Well, this is a big thing to me. And I think I learned this as a teacher. I did not learn this as a student. We are not talking about a thesis sentence. It is a thesis statement. That mentality right there changes my perspective. The reason why that matters is I don't think you should ever limit yourself to writing your thesis in 1 sentence. Oops, sorry. Oh, this is kind of funny. So in my opinion, you would write, if the question was something about why I'm missing, you might say, YO is great because teachers, sports, and iPads. Like, to me, that is a thesis, but to me, it's not a high-level thesis. So I would say you can go, why I'm missing is great because of its caring, thoughtful teachers, its highly competitive and successful sports, and the fact that they implemented and successfully use iPads in grades 7 through 12. Now, what I just did is probably 30 to 40 word sentence. To me, I like it. But you could also have just said, why I'm missing is great because of its thoughtful, caring teachers, period. Why I'm missing is also great because of its highly competitive and successful sports, period. And then, of course, a sentence on iPads. So your thesis will come in the introduction somewhere. Now, also in the introduction is something called contextualization. Contextualization describes a broader historical context that introduces the topic of the prompt. Now, the way I will bring this up in class, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, is anytime you've ever watched Star Wars and there is this opening credit thing and it rolls through, it's usually black background of space and it's yellow, that, ladies and gentlemen, is contextualization. It gives you the time and place, the setting, the perspective, the framing in which everything in the essay takes place. All essays in AP World, Euro, and US have contextualization and thesis. But we're going to work on this more later in class. So we have now 2 points of our thesis. Now, I don't think I need to do this too long. You can get as many as 3 points using evidence from the docs and beyond. Oops, I misspelled docs. Did you notice that? It's kind of funny. So, when using your documents, if you successfully use 3 documents, their meaning, their content, 3 of the 6 or 7, then you can get 1 point. But if you use 6 or more of the documents to explain the argument, then you can get 2 points. Now, as you see here, this is not just quoting. It's not just quoting. It is, as I like to say, using the docs. So let's just imagine you are a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you have a bloody pistol, bloody knife, bloody shirt. Well, you're going to use that as evidence on why somebody is guilty or innocent. So you're not just going to say, this knife is bloody. That's just citing the obvious. You will talk about how that knife came into somebody's possession, where it was located in the house, whose fingerprints are on it. So you are using it to prove somebody's guilt or innocence. Now, besides 1 or 2 points for evidence, there's something that AP has been doing for the last few years that I really like, but it's hard. And it deals with evidence beyond the documents. Evidence beyond the documents, which is shown right here, is you pulling with elaboration info that is not in one of the 7 documents or one of the 6 documents. It's kind of almost like that 8th bit of information that could have been there, This is where the students that really read, listen, and pay attention, really know their history, this is where they get their points. It's when you really know your stuff and you get to use it. Now, you can't just do it in one sentence. You need to elaborate on it, and you need to use it in connection to the actual thesis. Just because you know how many people died in a battle doesn't mean that proves anything. So that's just like name dropping. Well, at this battle no, that's just cute information, but that doesn't prove anything. Your outside evidence has to prove something. And now we're down to the last 2 points. And I'm going to be really fast with this. You get 1 point for taking 3 or more documents and doing a what I call HIP. So it is historical situation, intended audience, point of view, purpose, and infusing that any one of these HIPs for 3 or more documents. So for when talking about document 1, you'll use it to answer your thesis. You also might talk about the purpose of the document itself, the author's point of view in the document itself. Who was the intended audience of that document? It is absolutely 2 or more sentences in itself. If you do that, then yep, you get another point. Now we're going to do HIPs a lot on many different assignments in and out of class. So you'll understand HIPs later. And I guess last but not least, you also can achieve a point here. Demonstrates a complex understanding of the historical development that is the focus of the prompt, using evidence to corroborate, qualify, or modify the argument. And over here they give a variety of examples. So if the essay is about just causes, but you talk about effects, you might get that point. Your question is about similarities, but you also talk about differences, you might get that point. I have one more to show. It takes me a little bit while to erase this. I got to work on how to erase. And last but not least, if you do this, your essay is about year 600 CE, but you connect something from year 600 CE to year 1900 CE. That is also demonstrating your understanding of the complexity. Back in the day, we called this synthesis. I'm just saying you're taking your understanding and you're going a little bit deeper. And for that, you get a point. So, rubric. You get 1 point for thesis, 1 point for contextualization. It's in the intro. You get up to 3 points for talking about the documents and evidence behind the documents. We're up to 5. That's body paragraph time. And then you get another point if you do 3 HIPs successfully. That's in the body paragraph. And then you get 1 more point if you do the complexity, and that could be in the conclusion or anywhere. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can get up to 7 points on this rubric. If you get a 7, I make that out of a 20. So it's 20 out of 20. And you'll see in class how I kind of tweak this so it's not just a 7-point assignment. All right, so there it is. That's Mr. Dramby's overview of the 2017 DBQ used for all histories, Euro, US, and World. And I'll also be using this with my ninth graders. All right, have a good one.